Hello! Welcome to the Fit and Free Show. I'm ZGALA the Art Angel. You can call me Auntie Angel if you like. And as usual, I'm here to check in with my own body, do a little moving around, a little letting go of stress, and I invite and encourage you to join me however feels right in your body. I always like to say, follow your own lead. Don't do anything that doesn't feel right for you, and find what does feel right for you. This is about just checking in with yourself. And if nothing else, taking a couple deep breaths, letting go of some stress. There's always more stress on the way, so you don't have to keep holding on to all the stresses of yesterday. All that out of the way, let's get to it. I'm going to come back here and just start with some free arms swinging as I like to. You can see it's still kind of morning. It's getting to be midday just about, and starting to warm up here in the Head Hutt. This is the Head Hutt. It's a mega sculpture that I built with these hands and then wrote a book about it. You can find that book on Amazon. Yesterday I was making a little video about intention and awareness and attention, and so today I'm going to try to bring as much of all of that to my own body as I can, but I am feeling a little bit, I'm not going to say rushed, but it may end up being a demonstration of further on this side of that spectrum. If there's a spectrum where less is over here and more is over here, we're always somewhere on that spectrum, and there's not really, one isn't better than the other, but we do tend to get more vibrance and intensity out of the more side, so maybe that is better. What do you think? I think it takes being okay with oscillating wherever we are in the spectrum and just doing the best we can with what we have from where we are. Let's get to it. I'm going to start by bringing my attention into the bottoms of my feet, relaxing the bottoms of my feet, checking in with the alignment through the body, relaxing the hips over the feet, relaxing the shoulders over the hips, lengthening the back of the neck a little bit, bringing those ears over the shoulders. And then I'm going to step back with the left foot first into a moderate lunge, as I like to do. And I'm going to push onto the diagonal line today, just feeling into that diagonal and pulling the hips onto that perpendicular line, making sure that I'm not crunching up in the shoulders, trying to bring those back. Maybe tucking the tailbone under at the same time that I'm pushing onto this diagonal line. I'm going to scooch that back foot out a little bit more, making sure I can still see my front toes past my front knee. All the while really pulling those hips onto the perpendicular line and pushing into this diagonal line, pushing into that back heel. Just feeling into that, feels good. And then I'm going to continue to slide that back foot out and probably come up onto the toes a little bit. I'm hitting that back wall, bringing both hands on either side of that front foot. And I'm actually going to scooch over a little because I'm hitting sunshine there and it's hot. I'm going to bring both hands down on either side of that front leg, and I'm going to bring that front leg back and push into Adho Mukha Asana, or downward facing dog. Pressing down in the heels, pressing back with the hips, pressing the heart toward the center of the earth. The head is in between the elbows. Looking for a nice diagonal line now from the fingertips through the spine, out the tailbone. Relaxing the belly and tipping the tailbone just a little bit. Enhances that feeling. I'm going to bend the right knee and press more into that left heel, and then bend the left heel and press more into the right. Do that again on each side. Still trying to remember to push back with the hips, push down with the heart and chest. Really just feeling into that. Relaxing the belly, relaxing the belly, relaxing the belly. And pushing again into both heels. I'm going to swing the body forward through a plank or a chaturanga and drop those knees and hips and pushing up through the palms, lifting the eyes, lifting the chest, enjoying a nice stretch through the front of the body from the pubic bone through the belly, out the chin. I like to add a little tongue stretch here. Do a quick tongue to nose check, which I've kind of lost the ability for lately. I used to be able to do that easily. Tells you how gravity works. Just gonna wiggle that around a little bit, letting the back loosen up. The low back tends to bunch up a little there, and making sure not to collapse in those shoulders. Really want to push up. And I'm gonna bend the knees now, coming to about a 90-degree angle with the lower body, and slide these hands out into Uttanasana Shishosana, or extended puppy pose. It's a nice pairing with downward facing dog because they're both in the canine family. I say only partly joking. And continuing to relax the belly and stretch these hands out, getting a nice stretch through the chest, through the arms. Still aiming the chest for the floor a little bit. Stretching those fingers out and out and out a little bit more, a little bit more. Releasing through the arms and shoulders and chest. And then I'm going to walk these hands back on the elbows at first, lifting the forehead, and bring these hands under the shoulders to a relatively flat back. And let's do a couple rounds of cat to cow breathing. Cat is where you arch the body, exhale, pulling up in the abdomen, pushing through those palms, rounding the spine from side to side and from front to back, tucking the tailbone, checking the chin, chin, and then breathing in and lifting the tailbone, lifting the chest, lifting the eyes. This is Bittilasana, or cow pose. Breathing in, and then let's do that with the breath a few times. Exhaling and rounding. Inhaling and lifting. Exhaling and rounding. Inhaling, lifting. One more of each. Really pushing the air out, around in the spine. Inhaling into the body, lifting the tailbone, lifting the chest. And then let's come back to tabletop. I'm going to walk these hands out just a little bit, tuck the toes under, and lift the hips. Pushing again into downward facing dog, or Adho Mukha Asana. Pressing down in those heels, pressing back with the hips, pressing the heart toward the center of the earth. And I'm going to swing that left foot forward, the same one I stepped back with first. Coming into a deep lunge on the other side. And I'm going to take a little pause here to straighten that leg, aiming the chin for the toes, still pulling those hips onto the perpendicular line. Just enjoying an additional stretch here, lengthening the upper body over the lower body. I like to think of it like draping my upper body over the lower. Pushing into that back heel still. And then let's step forward with that back foot, coming into a forward fold from the hips, just relaxing the head and neck and spine. Need to get the vacuum out here at some point. It's that time of year. Just letting gravity do some unwinding here. And I'm going to bend the knees, swing the arms back, come into a counter stretch, lifting the eyes, arms, and chest to the sky, pushing the hips forward a little bit, and bringing the hands up overhead and then down in front, rolling those shoulders down and back, and again checking in with the alignment in Tadasana or mountain pose. Relaxing the bottoms of the feet, relaxing the hips over the ankles, dropping the shoulders down and back just a little bit over the hips, lengthening the back of the neck. Enjoying a nice heavy sigh there. And I'm going to step back with the right foot this time into that moderate lunge, checking in with the front toes, pulling these hips onto that perpendicular line, pushing into that back heel. And then I'm going to push onto that diagonal line again, stretching that back heel out just a little bit more, really feeling for that nice diagonal, making sure not to crunch up in the shoulders, making sure that I can still see those front toes past the knee, adjusting accordingly so that I don't stress my knee. Pulling the front hip back and the back hip forward a little bit. Just feeling into that nice diagonal line. And then I'm going to scrunch that back foot back a little bit more, coming up onto the toes a little bit and bringing both hands on either side of that front foot. Enjoying a nice deep lunge on that side again. Bringing weight onto the hands as I bring that front foot back and push again into downward facing dog or Adho Mukha Asana. Pressing down in the heels, pressing back with the hips, pressing down with the heart and chest, relaxing the belly, tipping the tailbone a little bit, really feeling into that diagonal line again, this time from the fingertips through the spine, out the tailbone. Relaxing the belly, relaxing the belly. Nice heavy sigh there. Let's come from Adho Mukha Asana or downward facing dog into extended puppy pose or Utthana Shishosana, bringing the knees down, letting go of those feet and stretching the hands out, bringing the forehead toward the floor, coming into that nice upper body stretch, a little more relaxed than the downward facing dog position and maybe a little more intense stretch, passive stretch through the upper body, really just letting gravity do that work, extending the fingers, and walking the hands back just a little bit. Let's pull the hips forward and push into cobra position from here, lifting the chest, lifting the eyes, relaxing the belly, relaxing the belly. Stretching the chin toward the sky and then stretching the tongue. I like to stretch the tongue for the nose just to check in with that. Like I mentioned, kind of lost that capability lately, so I'm going to keep working on getting it back. You do what feels right in your body. Make sure not to collapse in those shoulders. So if that is too intense of a stretch, you could actually do it from the elbows. The point being, you don't want to collapse in those shoulders. You want to be lifting the front of the body. I've kind of let go of my intention and attention to my lower body. The legs are ideally squeezed together just a little bit. That helps protect the low back if you're having any issues with that. And I'm going to come back into all fours, tuck the toes, and push back into Adho Mukha Asana or downward facing dog. Relaxing the belly, pushing back with the hips, pushing down in those heels. Let's tread those heels one more time. Bending the right knee, pushing into the left heel, bending the left heel and pushing into the right, or rather bending the left knee, pushing into the right heel. You know what I mean. Let's do that again on each side. And pushing again into both sides. Pushing down in those heels, pushing back with the hips. Relaxing the belly. Nice long diagonal line from the fingertips through the spine, out the tailbone. And I'm going to swing that right foot forward in between the hands, adjusting as need be. Coming into a nice deep lunge on that side. And then straightening that front leg, still working those hips onto that perpendicular line and aiming the chin for the toes, draping the upper body over the lower body. Enjoying a nice stretch on that side. And then stepping forward, coming back into that forward fold. Just hang here a little bit, letting gravity do some unwinding. Maybe bend and straighten the knees a couple times. For me, that kind of helps me come into that forward fold a little bit more. And then tipping the tailbone first, I'm going to roll up nice and slow, just letting these arms continue to hang, checking in with the spine all the way up. Rolling the shoulders down and back. Checking in with the nervous system with some clap snaps. And let's just swing those arms around a little bit. There you have it, a nice full body stretch. I thank you for joining me. I thank you for being you and letting me be me. I thank you if you like and subscribe. It does help me out a lot. Don't forget to stay curious, stay courageous. Hopefully get more fit so you can be more free. My glasses are all fogged up and smeary. Don't forget that you're worthy of your own unconditional love. You are enough exactly as you are. And also you can probably do more than you think. Till next time, I'll be seeing ya. Ciao for now.